If you are new to this channel, please subscribe and don't forget to like and comment. Today's story, my M27 wife, F26 of 4 years is wanting to test a break. This is a long post. My wife is wanting to test a 2-week break, my words, not hers, in our relationship. A 2-week break in which we separate ourselves from one another and go to a new place to flex our individuality from one another. We've been together about 6 years and married for about 4. This came about from a conversation we had this morning. We married young and straight out of college. Both of our families are extremely conservative, religious, and traditional. We are not. We are unorthodox, weird, and we love every minute of it. But both of us agree that we weren't really given time to mature on our own as adults. Most decisions made before adulthood were made for us or at the pressuring of parental figures. We've both expressed curiosity at what it would be like to be on our own. Basically, to see what it's like on the other side of the fence. However, there is no malice in these talks. I stated that she should do what she needs to. I want her to have these 2 weeks to do whatever she wishes. To find out if she is better on her own, or if we really do have it is as good as it feels to me. I want her to find her truth, even if I have to let her go. She stated she wants me to do the same. We agreed that a fling wasn't implied over these 2 weeks, but that it wasn't off the table either. I told her that, when she comes back, we can decide what to do. To stay together, or split amicably. Pain and tears will inevitably be a part of the latter, but we'd both rather face that willingly, and on our own terms. Regardless, I will not ask what will happen over these 2 weeks. I told her as much. I want it to be her time to introspect and make decisions free of as much outside influence as possible. She stated that she wants all the same for me. Even at the end of the conversation, through tears, solemn words, and hugs, we traded I love yous. The feelings are mutual, 9 times out of 10. We've always been open with each other in communication, to an almost uncomfortable extent. I've carried her to a shower and cleaned her when she couldn't get around and was covered in vomit, and she has seen me break down to my rock bottom when my dad died. We've openly discussed divorce, infidelity, and what would happen if one of us were to dramatically change one day. We've never held back from one another, and we've always supported one another. We love each other deeply, and there is no regret from us being with one another. However, there is some vestigial regret from getting married, because there is this built-in expectation for us to remain together for the rest of our lives, and do everything together. If there is anything we both enjoy doing, we enjoy defying social expectation. We wear no wedding rings. We have no children, nor do we want any for quite some time. We share a bank account and 2 cats, but that's about it. There are very few things that we would fight over if it came to us splitting up permanently. For all logistical intents and purposes, it would be a pretty smooth divorce/separation. I love her deeply. I won't deny that the prospect of a 2-week exploratory period scares me. But if left unsatisfied, this curiosity in both of us will fester into resentment and bitterness. Neither of us want that. I never imagined that I would grow into someone that would be okay without someone else in my life. At one point, marriage was my be-all end-all goal. But, over the course of our marriage, I've grown into that person. A person who can be okay on my own. I'm not really sure why I'm posting here. Is this the right course? Are we just being young and dumb? Am I being too open to this? I'll take whatever input you have to give. TLDR, wife wants exploratory 2-week break from our relationship to find herself. I'm cautiously unopposed to the idea. That's the end of first story. If you guys not subscribed yet, please subscribe. Okay, let's start the second one. I, 35F, am struggling with my boyfriends, M31, slack job hunting, and I'm worried about our future. My F35 boyfriend, M31, and I have been together for a year. When we first met, he was working in a cafe with a master's degree in sustainable energy, turn on for me big time, and an undergrad in chemical engineering. He told me that he was really disheartened with job hunting, that he tried to get a job for ages after his master's, and that he was unsuccessful. He felt it was because he is introverted and awkward in interviews, and because English is his second language and he never met the strong communication skills component of the roles. Sustainable energy is not a massive industry where we live, and the roles are largely consulting, which does not suit him at all. So to me, it looked like it was a bad match from the get-go. Fast forward to COVID. We go into lockdown, and he decides to do a 3-month software engineering intensive course with a well-known training provider, who has a reputation of getting virtually all of their grads to work. He loves it, he does well, and he finished in early August. He was paired up with a job coach who helped him with his CV/resume and LinkedIn profile, and even got connected with the industry. His homework was apply to 10 jobs a week 2 weeks, and he hadn't done almost anything, saying he was paralyzed by his lack of confidence and bad experience in the past. He had saved jobs, many of which did not match, different cities, mid-senior level roles, which baffled me. At least he hadn't wasted time applying to any. I sat with him, reviewed and improved his profile. I actually love this stuff, and helped him apply to 8 jobs in the one day. I gave him cover letter templates and the lot, some clear guidance on how to keep on track. I also recommended he speak to a psych about his anxiety and discussion medication with his doctor. Tough times. He did both. I left him to it. A month later he's really down, telling me his peers are getting jobs, and he is not. I ask him how many roles he has applied for, and he tells me 4. 4 in 4 weeks. I dish out some tough love, and tell him people don't give away jobs, you have to hustle, and 4 is not 40, and he is self-sabotaging if he keeps avoiding it like this. Note, a $15,000 loan for his course is commencing mandatory payment in November. So he hears me, and starts applying for more, doing well actually, and starts getting interviews, imagine. So now, we are at the interview stage. I've heard him, thanks covered working from home, and I know there are areas he has to work on. I have hired dozens of people and I'm senior in my field. I make suggestions to him on preparing tactics, and literally every time, and I mean every time, he just crumbles, and says he hates it, and it's too much, and I'm stressing him out. Or he goes silent. I managed to sit with him, and help him write down common questions and answers for a graduate developer, which seemed to be more painful to him than a lobotomy. This week, he had an interview on Wednesday afternoon, and he confides in me Tuesday night that he's feeling really anxious about it, and that he just wants a job already, and he's afraid he will never get one, while he's sitting on the couch playing video games. FML. I'm really frustrated by this point, and I basically tell him that action is the antidote to anxiety and maybe he should spend some time preparing. I offer to sit with him and dry run. I remind him of all the other prep that helps. He goes silent. I, admittedly, harshly, repeat my hustle comments from conversation past. If you want it to mate, you have to freaking work for it. He gets mad at me and goes quiet for the rest of the day. This is our first real fight TBH. At the end of the day, he tells me what he needed at that moment was reassurance and comfort, not criticism. He tells me he's not like me and my friends with practicing in front of the mirror etc. I apologize and say I'll work harder to be supportive in the way he needs. He gives me an overview of the interview, says it went well, summarizes what he said, and there was one thing that he said which was a woeful and not good strategy, and it killed me to hear it. If I was on a panel and someone said it, there is no way I'd hire them. I'm stumped people, and I need some guidance. Do I keep it up with the tough love, or let him learn it for himself? I'm afraid the latter is going to be a major challenge for our relationship, and what I haven't said in this post is that he's an amazingly loving, kind and wonderful person, and I really love him. We are a really good match in a lot of ways. Ugh. I just don't want this to become a bigger issue than it already is. Add on, I should also mention I'm doing well financially, and I have been covering quite a bit of spending since COVID began. Multiple times he has joked about just being a house husband while I go to work, which I was clear doesn't work for me. I sometimes feel like it's easy for him to avoid the work when most things are being purchased by me. Add on to, I forgot to mention, the first time I got him to sit down to apply to jobs, he vomited for like 20 minutes. His anxiety around the whole process was that bad. So for those saying he's just being lazy, it's not. He steps up in other areas if/when we need to talk about them. TLDR, boyfriend is avoidant on all manners of job hunting despite being very capable, and is self-sabotaging his chances to get into a career he will be great at because he hates the work required to apply for jobs and prepare interviews. I'm at my wit's end watching him self-sabotage and need to know, do I continue telling him the hard truths he doesn't want to hear, or do I leave him to learn his lesson on his own, even though it may become a wedge in our otherwise amazing relationship?